All right. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, just running a little bit behind this morning. Late last night. Again, another waiting this at a Jago last night. So another late night. So let's get on with the market this morning. Really, not much happening. It's basically a dead market. If I'm gonna look at the ES futures, you can see why. Basically, nothing has been much happening.
Okay.
Somebody saying something? I'm on your mics open. Yeah. So nothing's been really much happening this morning, other than the market is kind of just sitting quietly. Market did rise from 6 o'clock yesterday. If you can see this on the 3 minute here, up to here, and basically the market's been going sideways. Nothing really major's been happening. If you look at the day chart, let's take a look at go to the market. Let's go through ES futures first. Excuse me. So ES futures basically very small, some very small candle, and let's see, it has slowed down right here where we would say the higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and higher high. If this thing turns back below 6804 here, this could go back to the downside. Okay, we have we also have a decision coming up on interest rates on the first week of December, the Fed's meeting, and they're gonna most likely this market is probably gonna wait for that. Is it gonna break to the upside or is it gonna come back to the downside? So I'm looking for the market for the next few days till the Fed meeting, the market to basically go sideways and sort of hang around this here. If it goes below 6804, if it does, right now that's what I'm looking for. If it does go below there, I'm gonna be short. But if it does decide to go to the upside, especially for like our day trading and stuff, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this break right there. It's like a bullish flag though. This bullish flag, if it breaks to the upside, we're gonna go long on the ES futures and the Nasdaq. But if it breaks below here, this is you got your 2 points that where the market could break to the downside, then we take a short. But there is no news out there in the market that is really right now is gonna take the market to the upside or to the downside. I really don't see what's going on out there that's gonna do it this morning. But basically, the market, all the big traders are sitting at home. Uh, for the Thanksgiving. If they take the Thursday off, they normally take the Friday off. So the market will close at around 1 o'clock today. And that is going to be basically, that's why a lot of people don't show up on Fridays to trade. So it's going to be a very slow market. Like ES futures is just up 7 points. The NQ is just up 45 points. I don't think the market's going to break out either to the upside or the downside from here. But I think it's going to go sideways. And you can see the market since noon on Friday. I told you guys nothing's going to happen after noon. And what have we seen since Wednesday noon? What market's going sideways with very small candles. This is 1 hour candles. The market hasn't gone up much. The market hasn't gone down much either today. So I would be very careful of trading. If you're gonna trade anything this morning, it probably be the first hour or two. If anything's gonna happen after that, it's gonna be pretty much dead in the market. There is nothing happening on the forex on the forex calendar. There is absolutely no, really isn't any GDP or any sort of information or data that's coming out this morning. Even though we had a lot of a little bit data from Euro, but not much. We have GDP coming out for the England UK, which is coming out around 8:30, forecasted to be 0.2%. They had the budget this week out too. I've been reading the budget and I'm trying to determine what direction the pound is and the euro are really gonna take. But I'll look at them in a minute here. But again, ES futures, nothing happening today. You might as well go Friday, Black Friday shopping. Uh, might as well do that. There's nothing else. Same thing. Look at this Nasdaq. Since noon on Friday, on Wednesday, so I told you after that, basically nothing is happening, and nothing is happening on this chart either. Very, very quiet. Ukraine is quiet. Middle East is quiet. Big news is quiet. The earnings have been done. Basically, there's nothing to talk about. Long, flat market, basically. And just a little issue this morning. CME, Chicago Mercantile, is having a little bit of also problem. I guess their technicians are all gone home and nobody's fixing it. They're having a little bit of data problem. So be careful today, especially if you're trading anything that's coming out of Chicago, especially futures, commodities. If that exchange breaks down, so be very careful. They might shut it down, and they're having a data issues over there. Okay, so looking at both Nasdaq and what is the Dow doing? Dow is doing the same thing that you see the ES doing. You see the same thing that the Nasdaq is doing. So this is doing the same thing, not moving much. IWM, guys, I told you was gonna go to 250. Where are we sitting right now? At 247. It is down. It's back up around 248. I gave you guys 250 target on it. This is where we're going, and that's it. We ran from 235 all the way down here when I said to buy this thing to the upside. And we also had algo on our side giving us signals on the 1 hour chart on the IWM. And IWM ran really nicely. And I hope you guys made tons of money on this, on IWM. These are some of the sure things that when they turn around to the upside, they make good money. You don't think you could have made a $15 on this easy? Very easy, right? So all you had to do was take the trade, and it's headed to 250, another $2. Is it exactly going to get to 250? Sometimes it doesn't. So just be prepared to take, because there's been selling here before in this zone. Just be prepared. If it doesn't go above here, make sure you take your profit on IWM. Okay, looking at oil this morning, oil is sitting at $59, slightly up. Okay, nothing much is happening other than there is no deal signed yet between Ukraine and Russia. Once that deal gets signed, I think you'll see even a lower price on oil. So not much move on oil. And same thing, gold is waiting for this deal to be done. The short-term target on gold is $4,300. And if it breaks above 4,300, it has to break up on some sort of news. Something's got to happen that is going to cause this to break out to the upside, 4,300, back to the all-time highs here. But I think it's basically gold is basically going to stay sideways, and I don't think it's going to break this here. Really till something happens, or the news comes out, or the inflation report comes out. Okay, but on the other hand, silver has been very strong, and it's breaking out to the new highs almost. Why? I told you guys a couple of days ago, this thing is very strong. Why? Because China is short. Their piles are short on silver, and a lot of this silver used on the circuit boards and a lot of other electronic stuff. They do use silver, yes, but they're short piles, and they look like it's going to break out. Right now, silver is very strong. If I'm going to buy between gold and silver, I would probably most likely take silver. Silver's made nice two strong candles to the upside since I told you guys they were short on silver in China. Okay. So looking at that, looking at the VIX. VIX has dying down. Nothing happening in Ukraine, nothing happening in the Middle East. Most likely nothing happening on the Thanksgiving week here. And next week, I think when we start getting the Feds talking, that is going to start pushing most likely the VIX index to the upside or the downside. Again, nothing happening here. The good news this morning, the 10-year is down below 4. Okay, it's a good sign for my bonds. I'm still holding on the bonds. I'm still making money on those bonds because they pay dividends, right? So I'm still collecting my dividends. I was looking at the other day. I had extra money in those bonds, and they were all dividends and also capital gains, which I haven't sold yet. So I'm making like 20% already since I bought those bonds. You imagine making 20% money on your bonds? that was a like, and that's a pure sure bet, and it's going to give me more than 20%. Once this thing breaks below even further, like it's gone to 3.5, that's where around 3%. That's when I will sell my bonds and take my money. And by the time I get there, I probably make about 35% on bonds. That's not bad, making money on bonds. That's how you make money bonds, capital gains and dividends. Okay, I'm getting, if they're paying me dividends at higher rate, why? These prices already dropped from where I bought them from. And you guys all know that. If you check 4 months or 5 months back on my on the if you look at the market updates, and you will see that which bonds I bought back then, and I've been telling you I've been holding on to those bonds ever since. Okay, so that's what's happening. And let me just one quick take a look here. I want to take a look at something. Okay, I'm just watching my, there's something's happening here all of a sudden. 8:30, something is moving the market. Let me just know why, because it's a huge split on the Nasdaq here. What happened? Oh, it can't be just moving on the Canadian GDP. We had a Canadian GDP out, but there was nothing on this here on the calendar. I'm looking here. Here's the calendar right there. I'm not. They had a Canadian GDP come out this morning. Oh man. Wow, very strong Canadian GDP number. Well, let's go over this guy quickly, guys. Okay, the Canadian GDP number came out this morning. It's on the financial news. GDP number came out holy shit. Sorry, quarter to quarter, 2.6%. 2.6%. The forecast was 0.5%. The previous was negative 1.6%. Wow, what a jump on the Canadian GDP. That's going to make the Canadian dollar strong. Okay, the Canadian GDP month to month was 0.2%. The forecast was 0.2, which was the same. The previous was negative 0.3. Okay, the 2.6%. Wow, that's a strong number on the Canadian. I guess Mark Carney is doing something to the Canadian economy to see that number that high. Okay, so let's take an immediate impact. What's happening with the Canadian dollar? The Canadian dollar should be getting strong. So it is going to the downside here. Let's go. It's not going to the downside. It's getting stronger actually. So we can see with these numbers, the Canadian dollar will hit 135 or 130. So if anybody's getting, if you have a lot of American money, this means you sell American dollar and buy the Canadian. Okay, if you have a lot of American money sitting here, that means you sell the American dollar and go into Canada, and Canadian dollar is going to get stronger. Okay, so again, 135. That's how you play this. I did not know this GDP number was coming out this morning. I looked at the forex market. There's nothing there, so I don't know why they do have it there. Sorry. What is that? I thought it was the UK. Right there. They do have it. I don't know how I missed that. They do have it. I apologize for that. I thought it was the UK number. If you remember at the start of the market, I probably mentioned UK there. Sorry about that. But amazing. Wow. That's a strong GDP number. That's good. That's a strong GDP number. Let's take a look at the rest of the market, guys. I was wondering why the Nasdaq moved. Nasdaq did. I'm surprised it moved on the Canadian GDP number. Something else must have happened too. So there's nothing else I can see there. So you can see the Canadian dollar. It's going to get stronger. It's going to come down even around the 135, at least 137 to start. So the Canadian dollar is going to be very strong this morning. So let's go back to our market update, where we were this morning before we got distracted by the GDP number here. Okay, so what's happening with we saw the 10-year. 10-year is back above 4.01 on the US side, but here on the Canadian, not Canadian, let's take a look at the put call ratios. Put call ratios, you can see the SPY very strong towards the call side, and Same thing with the triple Qs and IWM. They are all three very strong towards the call side. You can see IWM is very strong because you just saw the IWM is coming to 250 again. So very strong up there. The market looks like let's kind of risk on, risk off thing, because we're not going to see the market move much. And so on that note, Bitcoin is back above 90K, sitting at 91K, going to the upside. Nothing much happening here other than, it's come back to 91K. So it's going to go back down. Again, it's waiting for interest rate decision next week. So RBR, sorry about that. I don't know why I got that on. Sorry about that. I got to turn that off in a minute here. So there's a decision here basically on interest rates that's going to cause this market, especially Bitcoin, either go to the upside or to the downside. So right now sitting at 91K, that is making a little bit of recovery on the MSTR, but it is not recovering much. Okay, still be careful. I know it's building a little bit of base here and should be buy. No, I'm not going to be buying this stock. I'd rather buy something else. I'd rather buy Bitcoin itself than to buy MSTR. But again, if the Bitcoin turns back to the downside, this thing is going to go lower. Okay, so don't keep on. But I do like the coin exchange. I told you guys it's making a nice turnaround here. Again, they're making money. Coin is 271 up as because they make money off commissions. And it's the only trusted exchange where they've been trusted exchange for Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Look at this double bottom here that was forming, and when we were talking about it, we were also seeing if the market was going to stop bleeding here on coin back to the upside. It has held up really nicely. So it is looking very bullish. Even this morning, it's up about $7 on coin. Coin is going nicely back to the upside. Okay, I would be a buyer of coin, not MSTR. Okay. Take a look at what else is happening in the market. Take a look at. I wanted to look at Circle too, Gurkeet. I told you guys I like this stock. I like what it's gonna do. I think it's time to buy. Just be careful. Very high risk. I'm telling you guys, it is very high risk. But I like the technology on the blockchain. I like the stable coin, 1-to-1 ratio on the American dollar, right? So it's just like trading American dollar with their technology. So I like this. Fundamentally, it has come down to the bottom here. This is where it took off from the IPO price. So I would not go out and buy a lot of money, put a lot of money in it, guys. Okay, be very careful. I would not go in and put a lot of money into it. Very small amount, take a risk with it, small amount. And again, if it does go the wrong way, again, with this technology, at least your portfolio will be safe. Okay, so I'm going to pick up some, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up right now, but I like to see it above this candle right there. See this long candle that it took to the downside? If it goes above here, I'm a buyer. Okay, in fact, I'm going to put alert right now on it. Right there. Why didn't it go on? Sorry. Alert. Okay. I'll leave it at 76. I'll leave it there. Why? I do have a two-factor. I don't know what's going on here. I'll fix this after. I got that working. Anyways, let's go back here. Where are we? Circle here. Like I said, this is a buy. This is a good stock. There's a little bit of news coming out on the stocks a little bit here. Like I told you about the CME group, guys. They're having a data problem early this morning. So be very careful trading. Be very, very careful trading, especially the futures this morning. There isn't a whole bunch of other news coming out. AI stock, they're talking about the bubble again. The analyst, everybody else, any AI stock, be careful on that. Broadcom is a little bit in the news on demand of their stock, AVGO. The analysts upgrading AVGO this morning, nicely moving to the upside. Again, it's breaking out, guys. This was a breakout point right there. It's breaking out this morning. So can you trade it? Yes, sure you can. Okay. So AVGO is a very strong stock. This is the one that's really going to survive. Okay. Broadcom, definitely we should be in it. Okay. It's up to you, but I am not in it, guys. I'm not in this one. Okay. So it ever since they actually did a split back here somewhere. Yeah, right there. Since then, it's been just going to the upside straight. So it's up to you. Even then was a buy. So if you're holding on to it, you can hold on to it. But I'm not going to be chasing this one right now. I should have bought it back when it was split, or even had a chance to buy it back here on this year's board right there. But anyway, I'm going to be staying out of AVGO. Amazon, take a look at remember we have Black Friday sales going on. They're going to come out with the numbers next week. I don't think the numbers are going to be very strong to the upside. So even though I think the stock is going to run, because we're going to be they're going to have Cyber Monday still. We still have Christmas coming up. So still this stock is going to run up a little bit up with it. With the market, with the numbers, but I'm not gonna. I got a small number of shares. If you bought back 215 here, back here, right on the support line here, if you bought it, I would be. To be honest with you, I would be looking for a profit, taking profit. Why? Because I don't want to wait for the earnings. The earnings are still coming out in February, but I don't want to wait for the numbers. Somebody's going to announce numbers in the next 2 weeks, whether Amazon had a good earnings season or not, especially Black Friday. But if you look outside, if you go to the stores, people are not enthusiastic as they were last year to go in there and buy. So if you look back in December, look how the stock back in December, just beginning, how was popping back to the upside. This is why the stock was running, and it even ran up before the earnings. Look how strong it was. But this year, I don't know. It's kind of went down yesterday or on Wednesday, but it's trying to pick back up. It's not very strong. It's not pushing that. I don't have that feeling in there. But hold on to it. I think at least a week before the numbers come out, and see how far this thing can go up. Okay, so just keep a close watch on Amazon. Don't lose your profits. Okay, next week we also have banks coming out with earnings. Canadian side, I think 4th is, I think the TD is coming out on the 4th. Let's take a look here. TD is $117. I think most likely before Thursday next week. We're going to have earnings come out on Tuesday with some of the banks. And those banks, if whatever the earnings are, I think they'll be good. I think they're going to drive these stock prices higher. Okay. BMO, you can see Royal Bank has been all-time high. They've been running. TD has not been running that great because remember what happened way back then. But I think this will continue to the upside. I'm holding on to it. I'm not selling. It's still one of the cheapest Canadian banks. Okay. So again, 120 is easy target on it. Once it gets 120, then we'll decide what we're going to do further with it. But again, watch out for earnings on the 4th. I think they will beat the numbers. We'll talk about these banks more on Monday morning. So what we're going to do with them and what their earnings are going to be. We'll take a look at exactly what their numbers are. And we'll determine that on Monday. Looking at some of the Bank of Nova Scotia and all those, I think that if you have Bank of Nova Scotia way back from 60, wow, look what it done, right? So it continues. It knows earnings are coming out. Even last week I mentioned, hey, hold on to these banks or buy some because the earnings are going to be great again. Royal Bank has been the biggest winner. It has been on fire basically. So you can see how strong all these Canadian banks, and you guys know why I trade Canadian banks. And this is where I made most of my money over like 20 years buying and selling the banks. Okay. Enbridge is the other one. While we are talking about Canadian stocks, again, stock had a nice run up. I think the stock will continue to run up. There are great earnings coming out with those new 2 pipelines now in revenue state. and even though they didn't make it go great so much, I think this was a buying opportunity. Even with these earnings, this year went to the upside. So if you're looking, if you have this here, I know a lot of you guys have it from $44, and I can, well, continue to tell you, hey, hang on to it. Hang on to it. And it pays a great dividend. It's going to go higher. Look at the chart on it. It will continue to climb. So we were buying back here at 44. On the way down here, we bought it. So congratulations to those who are still holding. It's still a winner. It's going to continue to win. Okay. Is there any other stocks you guys want to talk about? Anybody here? We talked about Circle, APLD. Take a look at APLD. This is one of the stocks we were trading a while back there. And what is APLD looks like? APLD looks fine. Look like it's bouncing off from the bottom here. We like the technology on this one. And let's go to the financials here. So $6.9 billion company. Technology was there into data centers. That's why the data centers were very strong news. So it ran up really nicely. Remember, data centers started one news way back here, and they built it up, and the stock kept on running with the news. Now it's kind of coming down to it. Now what it's saying is, show me what you've done. And where are you going to see that? You're going to see in the revenue. Okay, revenue is not fantastic yet on this year. It ran up here nicely on this 165 million. It's now gone down to 135 million. Watch out what the revenue is going to be. Especially, I would go quarter by quarter. Take a look at it. So if you go into earnings, you can see quarter by quarter. They're slated to come higher, but still it's a money-losing company. So I want to see more revenue before I start buying this one here. On the TELUS, telcos are really being hurt. There, a lot are gonna remember. A lot of is gonna be a problem with this some winter time here, especially Christmas. People buying phones, and a lot of competition with TELUS and Bell Canada and all the other ones is they are behind. They are behind on. They need to get a satellite contract with somebody, and that's why I was talking about IRDM. To own IRDM, because these guys, TELUS and BCE, if they're gonna do have a satellite phone, they need to connect with a satellite company, and IRDM is one of the companies that does what these guys want. So let's see if they can turn on. I bet you, as soon as you hear TELUS or Bell Canada is attaching their phones to satellite, this will make a nice U-turn to the upside. Right now, a lot of people, Apple's coming out, Elon Musk is coming out, and all other phone makers, even Samsung hasn't announced yet, but they will sooner or later, and they are also looking for a company they can connect with on the satellite business. So more than actually TELUS, I would definitely I like TELUS. I hold on to it. I got some shares, BCE shares. I got some. Still, they're paying a good dividend. I'm holding on to it. I haven't sold it yet, but I'm not selling them either. But the thing is, wait for them to announce some sort of a deal. But instead of buying these, I like our IRDM. I bought a small number of shares in IRDM. Again, this is going to be I think it's turning around a little bit from the bottom. Again, if you don't like the way this market is going to the downside, don't buy it. Wait till it makes a U-shape to the upside. I bought it just a little bit. I bought it around 16, 15, somewhere there. I bought a little bit of here. But again, if it starts going even lower, below 1568 or 1575, then maybe they're not getting any sort of business deal. But they're going to get somebody. Look at the buying here going on. See these two green histograms? They're showing nice signs of buying, that somebody's accumulating this stock here. So even the bottom, see, this is where actually the stock took off before, all the way to $68. So I think this stock will turn around. Somebody will make a deal, and when that deal is made, and you know what's going to happen here. Okay. So that is IRDM. So let's go with any other companies. Anybody want to talk about VRT to the moon? We've been saying that for a long time, and it's going to happen. You know, VRT, these guys make cooling stuff for all the data centers, and they need all the heat that generates. You need cooling, and this is a very good company. They have a very good technology, so I see them going higher. But should you buy them here? I think you can buy them, but again, for any company, I would keep a tight stop loss. Okay, they're a technology company, but I would love to buy it here though. If it goes back above 202, that's where I would grab some. Okay, and Verizon I like. Verizon I like definitely. VZ. This one is the same thing as Thales and Bell Canada, AT&T. I like this company as well. They've been taking a hit to the downside because in the US there's a lot of competition. But this is a very good company. I think they just need a little bit of hump to get above here. They will get there, but even their revenue has been strong, but the forecasted revenue is a little bit down. I think this whole telecommunication sector, whether you take Bell Canada, Verizon, take all telco, take AT&T, I think this whole sector needs to consolidate with each other, merger or acquisition. They need to buy each other out. I know Thales is huge, Bell is huge, but some of the smaller companies out there, they need to take them all out and be part of like a big company here. But they're right now they're losing because there's so much company. Other phone companies are undercutting each other basically, and that's what making this thing lower. Look at the phone cost in Canada has come down a lot. One was pushed by the government. The second now is a lot of competition. The competition, how? A lot of people I hear that I see, you don't care about the area code anymore. 416 doesn't matter to you anymore if you live in Toronto, because a lot of people are doing is going into the US. They're making better deals there. Okay, there a lot of people are going in the US. They're getting their phones there, and they get a free phone and a much better deal than even if you're paying in the American dollar than on the Canadian side. In Canadian side, average if you get a phone with a contract, it's about $100 if you get a good phone. It's about most people usually are paying anywhere between $70 to $100. So even with the exchange, you can bring the Canadian dollar to a $70 against the American. $70 deal. They have $40 deals in the U.S. Okay, and they give you free phone. So much better deal than Canada, and you don't care about what area code it works. They get a complete North American free calling, right? So a lot of people are, and if you ask our brother trucking, a lot of them are holding on. They get an American deal, okay? So they're getting American phones. So that's why, especially Bell, Thales, all of them are being hurt. So it's becoming an international business, especially on the phone business. Okay, let's take a look at ASTS too. That's a good stock too. We are looking at trading that. Yeah, it's the same thing. All that, basically it has to do with the data centers. They ran right back up. So let's take a look at quickly. I haven't looked at this one for a while. ASTS is also cellular phone. They're into cellular phone as well. Again, modified, extensive. It's on the internet. Looks like the way they are providing service. Okay. They're based in all the way Texas, $20 billion company. What does the revenue? Revenue is nothing. So they must have some sort of technology that is making these guys 20 billion. They have no revenue, so I would be very careful of buying this one. Right? There's hardly growth here, and the numbers are negative. I would not be right now an investor in this company. I would wait to see what they have. Okay. What else is coming up? there is, like I said, the Canadian banks are coming out with earnings. I really don't have a lot this morning. Again, guys, the market is very slow. There is no news out there. Overall, I don't see anything that's really stands out other than missing this GDP numbers this morning. But again, there's nothing out here. So we'll talk a little. It's gonna be market's gonna be open till 1. I'm not, gonna be. It's gonna be very quiet day. I'm gonna sit here quietly trying to work on my algo, finishing it off. It's been testing. It's been working real good. So I'm gonna just make a little improvements on that one. But I'll let Harvey do a market update. I will be here. We can go through a little bit of a trading session. We can go for a little bit of a training session after 11. And see if there's anything that we can maybe work on the fundamentals. Okay, so we'll do that. Gurkeet, what do you say? Do you want to take a look at HP? Let's quickly see what HP is saying. Yeah, it's breaking out. It wants to break out right there, guys. If you are interested in this one, for a day trade or something, it looks like it wants to go. So what about the fundamentals? It has positive earnings, that's for sure. Statistics, numbers look pretty reasonable. It doesn't have a price to earnings ratio, but these numbers are very reasonable, especially book value, cash flow, price to sales is not bad. But why doesn't have? It does. If you take this number and add them together, you would get a price to earnings ratio right there, and the futures are pretty much positive. No, it doesn't look too bad at all. Again, these guys are into offshore solutions, international solutions. Okay, makes sense. But again, a very small company, 2.73, gives you a nice dividend as well. Again, do a little bit of research before you buy. The numbers look good. So I like what I see, but look for this breakout here that's happening at around 28.36. If it goes above 28.36, it probably can shoot up here. So keep a close eye on that. HP shop quickly. Shopify is moving up again due to Christmas numbers. Same thing with Amazon. Again, this is a trader stock, guys. The numbers are way out of whack, so be careful. But again, it's a trader stock, and it looks like a nice pop out to the upside. Okay, so I will see you guys after very soon. I am here right in front of the computer if you got any sort of questions, but we'll go a little bit of training session after 11, and I'll let Harvey do the market update if he is doing the one this morning. All right, so I will see you in a very short time.